Hey, Cody.
Yeah.
Why don't you check your fucking ego at the door?
Whoa, hey. Whoa, man. Hey.
That's how I feel.
I
right
hope
now.
there's like a really good Venn diagram of like people that listen to our show and people that listen to Rose Buddies, because they're basically the same show but with different subject medium.
I
But
think
for the little bit that on the opposite side, it's like not in the middle of the two, will not get what we're talking about.
like one side of that Venn diagram is Rose Buddies. The other side of that Venn diagram is Coffee with Rachel. And then if you mix that together, it is our show.
Hey, so here's the thing. I still haven't listened to Coffee with Rachel yet, so...
So here's the thing. You're going to have to,
I know.
because Chris and Rachel are going to start watching Twilight. And you're going to love it. They just talked about jealousy, so, like, get on the ship.
My
It's
interests.
good. Honestly.
Welcome to
So
the
good.
Twilight.
Welcome. Hi, my name is Allie, and I'm having a lot of feelings about what we're going to be talking about today, so I'm deflecting and projecting.
All of those things. Honestly, you being the peak Gemini can project your emotions while also deflecting everything around you and everything that has to do with talking.
It's a honed skill, I
Yeah.
would say.
It's truly impressive.
Thank you so much. So my therapist would say. How are you doing, Cody?
I'm fine. My city has been burned to the ground by drunk people.
Great.
Mainly drunk straight men, just living their dreams and taking up space while being drunk.
So, you know, the normal weekend, right?
Right, the normal, listen.
But now they get to do it with Irish attire on.
Yeah,
Or faux
yeah.
Irish attire
Next to
on.
a green river. And like,
Right. This whole time of year, I mean, I don't like March for a plethora of reasons, but
Sure.
I'd say that is probably one of them, for sure. Just the idea of, like, not just getting wasted, but, like, getting wasted and just, like, wreaking havoc for the sole sake of, like, Irish spirit. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, fuck off, first of all.
hey, can we like chill for a second?
I want you to embody the Irish spirit of, like, Lucky Charms and not setting the world on fire in, like, famine. Thanks,
Also,
though.
like a week earlier than the designated day of this holiday.
Yeah.
Just because
That's wild.
we don't give a fuck. It's so wild.
I do appreciate, like, the over-preparedness of that, but
Yeah.
not anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
you know?
wild. Well, while you have been hiding indoors, away from terrifying people trying to set your city on fire, I've accidentally started a new show
Okay.
that I will probably never finish. Thank
Sure.
you for always dragging me on that. So, pros, it's a zombie show. Sure. Also pro, there's a person in there who is like me, which is
Sure.
great. Con, how do I properly put this? Mike Newton is in it. So I'm having a crisis, y'all.
Oh god, this is where you become a Mike Newton stan. This is where it happens.
No,
This is where the cross happens.
No,
Your
because
mind
that
has
would
changed
be
forever. Your heart is now with Mike Newton as a zombie or whatever. I don't know how this show happens, but
that would be just like too much of a fan fiction, I think. So
You're not
I'm gonna
wrong.
not. I'm gonna stay true to my core values as a human. And
there
and
must be
stay...
people that are fans of the show that are like Twilight stans, right? Because like I haven't heard of this show, but if it's like
I
you
mean,
know,
literally same.
right, if it's like a sci-fi show and like you
Yeah.
know, people are only here for like that sweet Mike Newton cameo.
Oh God.
Maybe there's some crossover there.
I need to find them and see what kind of things I can find when I look up more fan fictions, because I'm sure that is on there. So that will give me some interesting ideas for research.
Oh no.
Also, I have been researching Newman a little bit just to, like, prepare myself for our podcast.
As if you aren't like the most prepared person ever.
Okay, well, I mean, true, first of all. And there's a theory about vampires that I want to run by you just,
God.
really quick. So, in the canon of vampires and, like, all of their lore, there's supposed to be this idea that vampires don't show up in mirrors, right?
Sure, yeah.
It's like a thing, or like in photographs, those kinds of things. And Bella mentioned that earlier when we were talking about it. So there's this theory that I found when curating the art that is our blog, that what if that also applies to sensors, as in automatic soap dispensers or automatic doors?
Oh my god.
Discuss, please.
I love it. I think it makes it a lot funnier to read and or watch this.
Because now what I imagine is Rosalie snapping a soap dispenser at the school in half because it doesn't work.
Sure.
Not like they need to worry about bacterium, but like,
Right.
you know, or
Also, don't want to get caught, like, not washing your hands at a public school or whatever, and somebody looking at you, being like, hey,
that
what are you
beautiful woman is like nasty.
right?
Like truly a nasty gal. Anyway, or the idea of just like Edward trying to open a door, like an automatic door, and it just like doesn't. And
Like,
him
absolutely
just like
not.
slowly writing in his journal later, being like, the world sucks. I hate everyone.
He's always that one person that, like, opens the door instead of just, like, pushing the button.
Oh
or,
my
like,
god.
standing in front of it. And they're like, you don't have to do that. What are you doing?
Yeah. So that is just
understand.
something to keep in mind as we go through this.
Oh, God. If there's ever any passages about soap dispensers, which I honestly wouldn't put past Stephanie Meyer,
Truly.
I will keep that in mind.
We read
Yeah.
this week. Or listened to the book.
Still haven't
Have you gotten the book? Okay.
No, I still haven't gotten it. I've been, like, balls deep in finals right now. And I
Great.
literally listened to the chapters, like, before recording. So I've been just in a mood.
Great. No, that's fine.
It's fresh.
That's fine. No, I'm sorry actually, because that's like a lot to come into this space. But
Yeah.
so we both listened to, I guess, chapters 3 and 4 this week. And boy howdy, folks.
Can I say, with, like, the academia that I'm putting myself into right now, all of my projects and, like, research and stuff that I've been doing for the past week or so
Sure.
have been mostly queer-based or, like, just homosexual, which, because, you know, it's me.
Mood.
But,
Yeah.
and to go back into this heterosexual nonsense, like, into the most, like, it's so jarring. I'm just, my brain is like, what? What?
That's, that is a lot, actually.
Truly.
Because I would say Twilight is, like, on the end of the spectrum as far as,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, queer coding and, like, analysis that's done as far as, like, the ships that are in there. But, like,
Sure.
the actual text, this religious text,
This sacred...
not in my Christian Bible. Like,
No, ma'am.
yeah, so that's wild. And I'm sorry.
It's fine. It was just very, I'm like, this isn't how things... I've just been so conditioned to be like, this is how normal things are. This is the norm.
Sure.
And then I go back to this, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think if anything, it just reminds you that this is not normal.
I mean,
So-
listen.
So that's good. So chapter 3
Yes.
is titled The End.
Which
Thank you,
fitting for the
Stephanie.
beginning of the novel.
Yeah.
Like, really great.
Yes.
God, could you imagine if it was like, you know what? This is like a 3-chapter book. This is it. I'm gonna
This
make $1
is
million off of this.
This is my novella. This is my EP. Like, it's not...
The Stephanie Meyer EP.
Oh my god. Can you imagine her spitting some... Oh, I
Absolutely
can't.
not. You cannot. No. No.
It would probably be, like, spoken word, if I'm being honest.
No. Stop. I hate it.
Okay. All right. I need to stop because now I'm imagining her fussing around in GarageBand. Okay. Anyway. So this ridiculous chapter
Yes.
starts off with pain and suffering, as you would imagine.
Yeah.
And Edward is acting weirder than normal,
Which is strange.
didn't think was possible. And the Shiny Squad is gone,
Nowhere to be seen.
as far as, like, in class.
Yeah.
So that's fucking wild. Bells, first of all. The idea that she is already having so much anxiety and doesn't want to bring up what happened at their home makes me so sad.
Yeah. It's like her trying to, like, pretend that nothing happened, but is also very absorbed by everything that happened, and her brain just can't handle it.
Yeah. They're having, like, this conversation. Edward is being weird, right? And, like, vaguely answering these questions and stuff. And then he'll, like, subtly change it to being like, oh, yeah, by the way, how's your arm? And she's like, what, this? And, like, it's, like, bleeding through her band. And she's like, this whole thing? Like, absolutely not. I'm totally fine. Who cares about this?
Whatever. I don't even need this one. I'm right-handed. Whatever. It's fine. Just chop it off. It's fine.
Oh, God. It makes me so sad that it's...
Yeah. So much of Bella just placing her own life
right.
under everyone else around her.
And she's just, like, constantly trying to analyze what is going on in his head because he's definitely not communicating it to her like any sort of partnership would be. So she's just losing it because she's jumping to conclusions, which they're not wrong. She's just, like, trying to figure stuff out. How did you feel about her taking pictures of Charlie and Edward?
It was so pure. So, like, she comes back home and, like, Edward's there with Charlie and they're watching sports together, which is wild.
That's an amazing idea to me.
It's so funny. And she's just like, what's happening? And then Charlie's like, yo, how about you play with the camera or whatever that I got you because I love you and you're my beautiful daughter that I love very much.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, okay, and starts taking pictures of Charlie, and he's like, absolutely not, no.
This is not what I asked for.
No. And so she takes a picture of Edward, and then he takes a picture of them together, and and my whole brain is like, how is this gonna, like, is there gonna be Flash? Like, is this, what's gonna, like, in my brain, it's like, if there's Flash, will he just sparkle for, like, a second? Will it just be, like, like a little bit of radiating? Just, like, enough
all of a sudden,
light.
Charlie's, like, getting ready for bed and, like, washing his face, and he realizes that he also has Becca highlighter on him, like, from that photo. It's like, what the fuck?
Like, how did this happen?
Right. Yeah, that's my preferred idea, is not that, like, when the Flash comes, Edward is sparkling from the inside out. It's just that, like, he emits glitter on people.
He
like,
just throws it.
Yeah. He just, like, shoots highlighter out at people. That is my idea.
Like, their home just becomes a drag club, and, like, there's glitter everywhere.
God.
And they're just throwing it.
Now my idea is, like, Charlie coming home after a long day, sitting down watching baseball, and it's just this, like, amazing home full of, like, glitter and poppin' music.
And Bella's such, like, the typical confused straight woman that's like, I don't know what to do with any of this.
To be honest. Oh my God. The idea, though, and I forgot, like, I know that they mentioned it in earlier chapters, but I forgot until I was reading this part, that this is, like, a literal, like, disposable camera or something. Yeah. Not, well, I know it's, like, a real camera, but it has, like, film in it. So they, like, get to a point and it's like, oh, sorry.
I originally thought it was, like an older film camera, not specifically a disposable one, but, like, I don't know, something that before there were digital cameras, like something like that.
Right.
They still make those or whatever. But then it was like, then now it makes more sense than be like a disposable one. But I was just like, wow, this is like 2005. People, like, use them seriously as disposable cameras.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's like a disposable camera or like a nice camera that just has like film inputted into it. But I forgot that because when she mentions later on that she had to go get the film, like, developed, I was like, holy shit. Do you remember when you used to do that? I was like, oh, man, that's a lot.
I still do that. But,
yeah, well, because you're, like, a photography binge. But, like...
Listen. Yeah, you're not wrong. But,
with, like, like, before that was, like, a thing.
No, for
that's
real.
A lot.
For sure. But it was so funny because they took, like, 3 pictures? And she brings it to school and, like, has all of her friends take photos for her because Bella.
Yes.
and for her mom. And then, like, 2 seconds later, like, okay, all the film's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean? How many photos did you take? Because, like, a roll of film was, like, 20 to 30 photos.
Right.
And they took, like, 3.
Knowing Jessica and knowing fucking Mike Newton, they were probably just taking, like, selfies together, to be honest.
She gets a rollback and it's all just them. It's like, I'm not going to send this.
That was wild to me.
Film is expensive. What do you...
I know. Like, in this economy?
Yeah,
absolutely
excuse me.
not. Yeah, I thought that was wild. There's a couple of things, like, even though this is supposed to be, like, a light scene, and it's like, oh, hey, we get some happiness, it's still peppered in with, like, you can tell something is going wrong, because when Bella's driving there, like, back home, she's telling herself and, like, thinking, okay, what's the worst that I can live through? And I was like, what? I mean, same, but also bells.
Belle.
Okay. And then when Edward leaves for the night, and she's just standing out in the rain alone for who knows how long until Charlie comes back and is like, Bella, what are you doing?
What?
So you can tell that, like, something is going to happen. Obviously, not with just the title, but what's being added in here as well. I thought that it was interesting that they included this in the book, because I didn't remember. I thought it was just a movie thing. That when has all the photos developed, and she has that picture of her and Edward, that she puts her side of the photo down when she's
like,
scrapbooking.
folds it over.
Yeah. That's wild.
This week on Does Bella Think Her Life is Equal in Value to Edward's?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
And it's, like, so off. Like, they're not even being subtle. It's just like, I literally don't see myself in the same way that I see Edward. I will cement this in my scrapbook in a physical photo.
Also, scrapbooking.
Oh, God.
Yes. And then we get the actual conversation of what's going on.
We get the most dramatic breakup ever.
Yes. Yeah. So she's, I don't know how to properly say this, but, like, Edward goes to her house, right? And he of course arrives first, and so Bella drives up, and she's, like, calculating, like, a pros and cons list of everything that's going on.
What could
she's
this
like,
mean?
right. So she can tell that Edward parked in Charlie's spot, and she's like, okay, bad sign. But he's here, so good sign. And it's like, she has this list going on until Edward says, well, just come take a walk with me. Which, okay, yeah, let's put Bella in the forest, Edward, thank you. And so she's like, nope, bad, very bad, code red, like, things going off. And this conversation, y'all, no.
It's so painfully obvious that neither of them know how to do any of this.
No, they have, like, no idea.
Bella doesn't have any relationship experience, and Edward is a vampire, so, like, and has no social cues ever. So, like, none of them really know how to, like, properly discuss this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Edward, like, is so in the mindset of, like, him being a vampire, and they leave all the time because, you know, they have to, like, they are the same age forever, and so they have to, like, make appearances and, like, leave every couple of years or whatever, and he's so used to that, and doesn't, you know, this is the first time he's had, like, an emotional connection with somebody in that place, and so he's just kind of like, yeah, later, we're good, right? Like, I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah.
We're good.
And, of course, Bella is struggling to understand what's going on, but also, on top of that, is struggling to understand what Edward is communicating, but because he's not doing it in a way that's clear. No. So when Bella's like, when you say we, and Edward's like, I mean my family and myself. And it's like, that is not necessarily something that you should need to clarify.
Yeah, no. And it's so silly too, right? Because at the end, he's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna leave. And then she's like, oh, so Alice is leaving too. It's like, did you not... Oh, God, nobody is clear what we're discussing here. And he's like, yeah, I thought, yeah, we're all of us. Like, the whole, we're all here. we're all leaving.
I know that we're not, like, related, but when I say my family, I mean my family.
No. Yeah, I mean, like, the people that you know and I know that are vampires.
Right. Exactly.
We're leaving. All of us.
All of us, yes. The wild thing about it, too, is, so they're having this conversation, right, and you're supposed to be feeling, like, lost and painful because it's a breakup, right? But also the only thing that I could focus on was the descriptions that Stephenie Meyers included in about Bella's response to this. So because the fact that there's a part in this where Bella's like, my whole body went numb. I couldn't feel anything below the neck. And I was like, hey, have you heard of trauma? Because,
have we forgotten that she just went through a very, very traumatic experience, an emotional experience, and still may not be fully recovered from that?
Right.
Since it was, like, yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. So he leaves saying, you'll never remember that I was here, and then just, like, slowly backs away while they're in the forest.
Just, like, is absorbed by, like, the trees and stuff. No, it's literally like that gif, or like that scene from The Simpsons where Homer literally goes into like the hedges.
Into the bush.
Just, like, his whole body is absorbed by the hedges.
Honestly.
That's him.
It's exactly like that. And then Bella's left in the forest, having gone through another traumatic event, and he expects
he couldn't have taken her home or something?
Yeah. He expects her to get out of that situation. That's not gonna happen. So she's, like, trying to chase after him. That doesn't work because she falls down, which, fair.
Like, true to her character.
Right. And, of course, we get the first mention of the title. When she's on the ground, she's like, oh, perhaps there was no moon tonight. A lunar eclipse. A new moon. A new moon.
Kill me, kill me, kill me.
Right. So.
And they said Twilight in this chapter too, or the next chapter, which is fucking absurd. None of this. Shut it down.
Yep, it just keeps happening. So basically Bella is just chilling in the forest. It's just lost in everything that's going on.
This is my home now, I guess. I don't know anything. She's literally just like day 3. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, she's just like starting to like vlog herself, being like, hey guys, so this is my new home now. Welcome to my house tour.
I just got dumped and like this is where I live now. It's great. I love the forest.
It's like one of those like YouTube memes where it's like person gets broken up with and then it's like a screenshot of a YouTube video where it's like, I almost died. Like, but like honestly, because it's Bella. Yeah. So she's in the forest, right? Samueli comes to save her because Samueli is a great person and can carry women.
And is one of 2 police officers.
He's just like a Quileute boy.
Just like
that's there.
A person.
And it's just like searching around. Anyway, so he's like, Bells, you good? Have you been hurt? Can I carry you back? And she's like, whatever.
It's fine.
Right. And he tells her that Charlie sent him out to look for her, and she's like, Charlie.
Sent a squad.
Truly, like, the whole town.
All the force.
And this is one of my favorite lines of this chapter, though, when she's like, Charlie mattered if nothing else did. And I was like, oh,
baby.
Hey, that's kind of cute, but also that sucks.
Like, it's also, I think, or who said it? I think it might have been Edward or somebody who's like, I need to be, like, here and ready for Charlie, if not for me. Like, I need to be, you know, working and, like, alive and all this stuff for him and not for me. And it's like, see, like, yes, but also, like, how about you value your life more, maybe?
Yep.
That's a thing that could happen.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
When Sam carries her back, there's 2 things that happen that I think were notable to me. One, Bella doesn't realize that she keeps saying he's gone over and over again. And 2, Charlie picks Bella up and carries her home. Which, that's so pure.
My heart.
And it mentions that he's, like, struggling a bit, which I think is really cute. But it's pure, and I love it a lot.
Can we, like, talk about Charlie being really homosexual and being really sad about Carlisle leaving? Because that's important That's important.
We can, and it's also confirmed in that because of the fact that he has that conversation with Billy Black.
Yeah.
Talking about all of the fires that are going on at the Quileute Res.
Yeah.
And he says, like, they're celebrating the news, and that his tone is bitter, so he's pissed.
And he's like, well, a warning would have been nice, and all this stuff. He's in love with him, okay? Like, there's nothing of, like, it's canonical, like, it's in the text. I'm shook. I can't.
We are focusing on the wrong Swan-Cullen romance in this series.
Listen, I'm here to unearth the real relationship that matters, which is Carlisle and fucking Charlie. Like,
yes.
Yes.
I'm saying.
Yes, they're in love.
Yep. So, Charlie basically, like, drops Bella on the couch and is like, can you just chill for, like, 2 seconds? I have some calls to make.
I do love how they called in the one other doctor that's in the town. Like, it's just him now.
Yeah.
He's gonna get that sweet, sweet money, though, now. Like, he's rolling in
It's
it.
true.
Because it's just him.
Yeah, I think his name is, like, Gerondi or something.
Sure.
Like, I don't know, maraschino cherry motherfucker. I don't. Some weirdo that's not Carlisle, not Daddy Malfoy.
Not Daddy Malfoy.
So, anyway, the Cullens have left. Both swans that are in the forks are mourning.
Mm-hmm. Respectively.
And the thing that I found that was kind of wild about this, and I understand that Charlie's just trying to understand what's going on, but he immediately asks her about what's happened and is like, so he left you alone, like, in the woods? And it's like, hey,
buddy,
it's a little too soon. But then we find out that Edward left a note, which is bananas.
Absolutely
like,
not. No. I'm sorry, are you Bella?
Yeah. Well, he wrote it from her perspective.
Yeah.
In a font that's supposed to be very similar to hers.
God,
but
I'm glad I wasn't reading it, because this would have been like...
Oh, it was very italicized, yes. And what I thought was weird about that, so it was his intention all along to leave her in the forest. Even though he had said for so many times in Twilight, like, do not hurt yourself, do not scrape your hands, do not put yourself in danger, and yet here he is going to put her in the forest when
like,
he doesn't
the
know
most
what's
danger.
around. Yeah.
And, like, I get why Charlie was, like, saying, hey, that's fucked up. Because I guess he's not seeing it from, like, hey, your boyfriend, like, abandoned you? Like, that's shitty. More like, he left you alone in the woods where it's dangerous and, like, you could have died and, like, had nothing else and didn't take you home or all these things. So, like, he was in, like, protective dad mode. Mm-hmm. And so I guess his emotions were kind of just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like dad mode and also like police mode as well, I would say. So that happens, and finally Bella's like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go.
Listen to some Linkin Park.
I'm gonna change my AIM status and I gotta get out of this place. And so she like tears her room apart, right? No CD that's in her CD player. He's not in any of the pictures from our scrapbook. It's just, like, the captions that are there left. And it's like, okay.
It's so silly that he's, like, he thinks that she would forget him, right? Because, like, sure, he's in the perspective of him. He's like, I'd live forever, and, like, I'll remember everything. And if you're a human, you'll forget over time, and time heals all wounds, blah. But, like, you cannot forget this, like, the whole series of events that happened between them, because that's not just like, oh, this dude I fucked in high school. Like, this is like a whole, there's like an emotional arc, and there's like this whole thing, like, and actual events happened. She like fucking almost died, and like
several
thought
times
her mom was kidnapped. Like, you can't, that's not something that she's like, oh yeah, totally forgot about that. No. Right. No, absolutely not.
There's no way.
No.
Yeah. So then this chapter ends. And just like a very subtle reference to like Bella's mental health issues and the amount of trauma that she's gone through. Because she's saying that the waves of pain that had been lapping at her before had reared over her head. And the last line of this chapter is, I did not resurface.
Ooh.
So, actual, like, maybe not shitty writing from Stephenie Meyer in a shocking turn of events.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. So that's how the end finalizes itself, I guess. And then there's chapter 4. But before we get to chapter 4...
What?
There's 4 pages. Each have one word on them.
Oh, God.
One says October. Second says November. The third says December. And the fourth says January.
Oh, God.
And that's it. That's all that's on those pages.
Wow. See, that's like a waste of paper, right? Like,
truly.
I mean, technically, this entire book is a waste of paper, but, but, yeah, like, I don't think that was, like, cemented as much in the audiobook, because I was just kind of, like, listening. I don't know. And it's obvious not as, like, this is a page, and this is a page, and this is a page, and this is a page.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is the definition of banana bread.
And then chapter 4 starts with waking up.
So, in case you didn't, get that, time has passed.
Yes.
In between the chapter.
And that's what the first line of this chapter is time passes even when it seems impossible. So, like, it's not subtle.
No. Stephenie.
Yeah. Yes.
Jesus.
And it starts obviously with that, but really it starts out with this conversation that Charlie's having with Bella. And on one side of it, I'm like, oh, Charlie, you care about Bella, and you just want to do the best for her. And on the other side, I'm like, hey, do you really think that this is the best way to go about this conversation?
Charlie really needs some, like, to understand how to deal with people who go through trauma, and, like, how best to communicate with people who have just gone through trauma. Because he's very much, like, in dad mode, sort of like, hey, what are you doing? You're not really living your life right now. You're just kind of, like, wallowing for 4 months. And, like, true, yes. But, for reasons that have happened in the past that you are very much aware of, maybe we can go through it a little bit differently.
Right.
But I also understand that maybe he's been trying to do that in the past 4 months, so we don't really get that context.
We don't. Yeah, we don't get that context at all. But
so it's probably at sort of a last straw kind of thing. It's like, hey, he's not coming back.
Right.
Like, let's try to live our lives.
That's how I'm imagining this conversation. Like, I'm trying to see it from the best light, but also, as someone who is at the higher ranks of being in the police force, I would hope, even though it's in a small town, that they have had some sort of training about how to respond to trauma. So I don't know. Maybe it's always different with family. Like, there's a lot of conditions that are there, but still.
Right, yeah, there's conflicts of interest in there for sure.
Right.
So.
But the idea of his, like, fist coming down on a table and being like, that's it, I'm sending you home. I'm like, do you really think that that's going to get the reaction that you want out of this situation?
No.
Especially because her response is, like, I am home, which, like, whoa, first of all. So that.
And also, do you think being with Renee is gonna help any of this?
Yeah, it's just gonna keep her busy and force her to do stuff, which is not necessarily good if she's just, like, repressing those emotions still.
Sure.
So that's his idea, is like, bye, you're going back to Jacksonville. And her other response is like, what did I do? And it's like,
no.
This hurt, like, wow.
Yeah. No. Oh, God.
And I understand, like, where he's getting at. And because but he says, like, you didn't do anything. That's the problem. You never do anything. And it's like, hey.
No, that's too much. No.
Hey.
Sir.
Even Bella says, like, that stung a bit. Like.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to live my life here.
Well, she says, like, I'm not moping around. She had mentioned before that she was trying very careful to not make a big deal about what she'd been going on, which is very, like, in character for Bella.
Sure, yeah, repress everything and...
Right, yeah.
Just, everything's fine, nothing happened.
But it just makes me so sad when she, like, looks at him and is like, then tell me what you want me to do. And it's like, Like,
No.
this is not the conversation that I want you two to be having.
Absolutely not.
Especially because when he mentions any sort of counseling or therapy for her, it's, like, blown off by both of them somehow during that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yikes, first of all. The one thing, though, that, like, hurt with Charlie saying this, though, is he was like, I don't think I can live through seeing you try harder. I've never seen anyone trying so hard. It hurts to watch. And I was like, hey.
How about...
Another thing you should probably not say to your daughter.
Yes.
But anyway, it ends up with being, he wants to send her back to Jacksonville. She's like, absolutely not. I'm in school. Like, first of all. Their conclusion is that she'll just make plans with Jessica and go out for friends on a friend trip and not a date with someone else, which it is interesting how that's written, but whatever. It's fine.
And also it shows how she hasn't really, like, through the whole Edward debacle, like, hasn't really had friendships as much. Like, her relationship has been, like, the majority of her life and all that stuff and all the things going on with that.
Right.
So, like, she clearly lost touch with her friends, Jessica included, during the, like, 4-month break or whatever, because she was mourning and didn't have anything, like, any other ties to go back to.
Right.
Because she was so focused on the Shiny Squad and all that.
Well, and when she ends up actually going to school and bringing up making plans with Jessica's pissed.
Right. She's also, like, confused.
She's very confused.
Right. It's like, why now? Like, what sprung this on? Like, why do you want to hang out? Like, what is the meaning of this? Like...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and one of the things that Jessica says is even, like, why are you asking me? Like,
yeah. But Bella's just kind of like, you're the only friend I could think of, really. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's like Edward, and then who else is there for people that I know? You, right. I guess.
Well, and she even mentions, like, the fact that the reason that she chose Jessica as well is because of Jessica's parents. And that the word would get out. Like, of course Charlie would find out that she actually went to Port Angeles because Jessica's parents would tell her. And so it's like, so it's not even, like, companionship. No, she's just doing this to fulfill requirements. Anyway, they mentioned going to the movies in Port Angeles. And Bella is like, well, I don't really know what's playing. How about that one with the female president? And Jessica
Which,
goes...
like, too soon.
It's too soon. Yep. And Jessica goes off. She's like... Bella, that one's been out of the theater forever.
Oh, God.
So anyway, they decide on a zombie movie, which, yikes, but whatever. I just...
Well, it's either that or romantic comedy, and Bella's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, there was no way. There was no way that she could end up with any sort of romance in that. Anyway, subtle mention dissociation too, because when she's leaving school, she's like, the thick haze that blurred my days was sometimes confusing. She's like, I was sometimes surprised when I found myself in my room, not clearly remembering the drive home, and I was like, yikes, bye. So, anyway, that was wild. So, this whole hangout with Bella and Jess...
So, like, this movie date is the worst thing.
It does not go well.
No.
For either of them.
No.
She tries to bring up conversation topics, right? About, like, so what's up with you and Mike these days? And Jessica's like, nope, that's not.
Shut it down.
That's not gonna work. So that's interesting. This is the part, right, where they mention the Twilight, which is gross. They say that they should hit the Twilight showing and then eat later.
God, it's like it's 1985, like how they talk.
It is. It's gross. Bella cannot handle this movie, which is interesting. She sees a couple and is Gone Girl.
She thinks that, like, it's gonna be 90 minutes of just, like, people eating each other.
Right.
But, do you know how movies work, Bella? Like, there's exposition and, like, things that happen before. I don't know. the zombie thing happening. And she's like, nope, there's love here? Absolutely not. And she literally in the theater is like, I thought we went to the zombie one, not the romantic comedy.
Yeah.
I'm out. And it's like, this is that movie. There's, like, it's a movie. What?
Yeah, she could not handle it and just keeps going. And what I think is interesting, like, snack, totally fine. But
Yeah.
Bella keeps going back out to the snack counter to get more and more food. And it's like, girl, didn't you just say that you were going to dinner after this? Like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Anyway.
I just love popcorn.
Right.
Like, soda.
Exactly. Like, that's just, like, who I am as a person.
This is me.
Right. So there's an amazing couple of lines of dialogue where Jess asks, where do you want to eat? Bella says, I don't care. Jess responds, okay. And that's it. So thank you, Stephanie, so much for including this and making me read this. They go to dinner. Well, they try to go to dinner. And Bella, she gets herself into a little bit of a sitch.
Oh, God. Like, she can't go to Port Angeles without literally just dying.
At
right?
this point,
Every
like, why
time.
does she try?
Why does she, like, what even is there that's, like, is that all that there is?
Right.
It's like, Forks is a barren wasteland and Port Angeles is the only thing that has anything in it.
I mean, that you're not wrong. Like, that is pretty much how that works, but yeah.
Oh, God.
So that's why. That's why she goes. Anyway, there's these dudes right outside this, like, grody bar. And Bella's like, hey, I remember something like this before.
I remember boys. I can make this happen.
And so her,
like,
her internal monologue is just like, follow that man, follow that man.
it's literally like Bella loves reenacting or repeating old trauma.
Yes.
Like, just trying to, like, it's so wild. Like, it's like, oh, well, maybe if I, like, really get into a bad situation with these men like the last time, maybe my knight in shining armor will come in, wink, 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 wink. Like, absolutely not. No. Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in some ways that is an understandable response to trauma. Like, I do think that happens in the sense of, like, trying to rework it to understand it. But I think Bella kind of goes about this in a very interesting way. 'Cause she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go fucks with these dudes for a little bit, even though they're strangers and look very sketchy. So there's some amazing dialogue from Jessica here that includes some great ableist language. And Jessica also asking if Bella is suicidal, which is that okay.
Throughout this entire New Moon journey, there's been a lot of, like, really weird mentions of suicide, like, in very problematic and weird contexts.
Yes.
This one, and also, like, the last chapters or whatever,
Yeah.
when Edward was like, oh, it's so easy to be human, like, you can just, you know, commit suicide, like, we don't get that, like, luxury. And it's just like, I'm not comfortable with any of this.
Right.
Like, this is a horrible thing to be saying in, like, this novel for children. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. No.
And I understand where Stephanie Meyer's trying to go with this, in the sense that she's trying to parallel Romeo and Juliet, right? Like, that's
Like,
what she's
sure.
doing. But it's not done well. And it's
No.
not done in a way that is responsible, I would say.
No, absolutely not.
Especially when Bella's response to that question is, no, I'm not, which, okay, fine. But she sounded defensive, and her reasoning for saying that she needed to stay alive was because, one, she owed too much to Charlie. Two, she felt too responsible for Renee. So it's not even about her. Like, it's...
No.
Ugh, Bells. No. So anyway, she's like, fuck that, Jess. That's not cool. I'm gonna go hang out with these dudes instead. And when she gets there, there's a voice.
God.
So then we get this addition to this novel. And it's not just a voice. It is his voice.
Like, I didn't even read it, but I know that was in italics.
Oh, absolutely it was.
Like,
Absolutely it was.
I just heard it.
Yep. She's making a point to not say Edward's name and it seems intentional. It's still extra, but it's intentional. So
we know you don't have to.
we get, like, it's good. We get it.
We got it. Thank you.
It's very good. Bella runs through her options of why she's going through this and hearing his voice. And her options for both were fucking wild. Because the first one, I don't understand Stephenie Meyer's intention for doing this, because she says, option 1, I was crazy. That was the layman's term for people who heard voices in their heads. And so it's like, she understands that she's using an ableist term here, and a term that is shaming other people, but she's still doing it recklessly.
Right.
And so it's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's really wild.
And then option 2 is that my subconscious mind was giving me what it thought I wanted, and that it's wish fulfillment. And I was like, yeah. So, anyway, Bella hears Edward's voice now when she gets into trouble, is what's going on.
No.
No. Yeah. She had chosen not to think about him, right? Because that would cause more problems for Bella. And so she was like, between pain and nothing, I had chosen nothing, which, I mean, fair. Like,
which is very in her character.
Yeah. There's one portion of this, though, that I thought was quite wild. So she hears Edward's voice, right? And he says he's growling at her to turn around and to not interact with these bad boys. Not like bad boys, but just bad boys.
Well, just bad boys.
Just like dirty boys. And her response to that is to sigh in relief. Like, she says that the anger was what she wanted to hear. And it's like, hey, remember that relationship that you thought was, like, great and perfect? There's a difference between, like, shaming kinks and just, like, illuminating, like, a terrible relationship.
God.
So, that's great. She goes over there. It doesn't work out. She comes back. Jess is pissed. So, that's great. And there's the really important line that comes up and is made out of fan art all the time, which is forbidden to remember, terrified to forget. It was a hard line to walk. So,
no.
I love that they end up going to McDonald's, first of all.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's a very, like, one of the only in-character things that I think that they've done.
Yes.
And it makes sense, right? Because last time they just went to go to that fancy restaurant. But now it makes sense because they already spent money. And so it's like, of course they would go to McDonald's. They're teenagers.
Yeah.
So that's great.
You know how much popcorn costs in this economy?
In this economy! Exactly. But yeah, Jess is pissed and doesn't even, like, talk to her on the ride home. So that's going well.
Oh, God.
Bella apologizes about after the movie, and Jess' response is, whatever, Bella.
Whatever.
So great. And Charlie's like, honey, you went out. Good job.
He's like pom-poms.
Yeah, literally. More glitter. And she's like, I don't want to talk about this. We watched zombies eat people. It was great. Bye. Like, this ridiculous chapter. Ugh.
So ridiculous.
It ends, though, right, where she's back in her room and she's like, I think I can, like, do this now? I think I actually don't want to end this book after 4 chapters. Like, I think I can
I think I want more.
And
I think I want 3 other books, actually.
I think I need to keep going.
Yeah.
She says whatever it was that had happened tonight, and whether it was the zombies, the adrenaline, or the hallucinations that were responsible, it had woken me up. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't know what to expect in the morning. Probably school bells, but that's fine. But that's how chapter 4 ends, is Bella is now getting in touch with her inner Edward, I guess? Like, I don't know.
Oh, God. So, next week, New Moon, chapters 5 and 6. Read them, or we will.
Or we probably will. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably will. Who knows? Maybe next week we just wing it, you know?
Honestly. That will be an interesting twist. You'll have to stay tuned for next week to figure out.
Yeah, see which way we actually actually read the text. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely will, because it's all I care about. But anyway, like, that's...
God, could you imagine if I tried to, like, pretend like I knew what happened in the chapters without reading any of it?
You probably
like,
wouldn't
yeah,
be...
and then, like, there was this weird, like, vampire cockfight. It was crazy. What?
Carlisle actually came back.
Yeah,
he
Carlisle,
apologized to
kissed
Charlie.
Charlie on the mouth. It was wild.
Okay, I low-key kind of want this. That was the thing. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. This is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Earbud Media. You can follow the show Into the Twilight on Twitter at Into the Twilight. We also have a Facebook page, Into the Twilight. Our email, if you want to send us that sweet, sweet fan mail, is intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. It's great. We have a Patreon where you can send us some sweet dollars and support the show. Ding, ding, ding. For just as little as $1 a month, you can help support the show and get a lot of cool perks, like bonus content and audio and postcards and all these fun things. It's lit.
It's so worth doing, because the bonus content, the stuff that Cody made from season 1 of us talking about Twilight, it's so fucking funny, because I did not know what was going into it, and it was wild for me to listen to. So it's definitely worth doing, and one of my greatest jokes ever is in that. So
yeah, if you don't listen to it and acknowledge Allie's greatest hits, she probably won't be your friend anymore. So
to be honest.
There's that to keep in mind. But
Yep.
that's patreon.com/intothetwilight. If you don't have money, there are really easy ways to help support the show, even better than money, and that is rating and reviewing us on iTunes, which is very easy and just super simple and free. So there's that, and it takes like a minute, and that's lit. You can just say you can just drag us in a review.
yes,
Honestly, just roast us.
I would love that, honestly, because I will read that.
I want that. You can also fill out a little survey so we can get sponsors and all that stuff, and it'll really help the show. It takes like a little under 5 minutes, and you can find that at bit.ly/into-the-survey.
Yes, do it, because it helps us.
Yes. Do you have names for our wonderful artist friends?
I do.
Great.
Yes. So, I want to shout out our amazing artwork that is done by Maddie Padilla. It's amazing, and I love it so much. And sometimes I forget what it looks like, and then I look back and I'm like, that's like truly us in a photo, which is great. So I'm thankful for Maddie. You can find her work at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, which is great. And our music, the fucking bops that follow the bops that make our roast even better, is done by Eli Krause. You can find all of the work that is done by Eli at krausefilms.com. Is his thing still going?
Probably.
So,
I know they started actually filming the stuff, so I've been seeing photos of that, and it's super cool. So.
Holy shit, that's cool.
Wow.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I think that this week Maddie is going to be Mr. Birdie, the English teacher.
Okay.
And that Eli is going to be Samuel-y.
Great.
Because he also carries our show to Charlie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We are just like the limp Bellas in the arms. Just waiting to be taken to our Lord and Savior, Charlie Swan.
Truly. And I think that Eli's music does that. And
yeah, honestly.
Maddie is talking about English in class and trying to make sure that we're still analyzing the proper things, which I think is her character, to be honest.
Yeah, listen.
So, yes, those are who I have.
Great. You can find Allie on the internet at 23ofme everywhere.
Bam, bam, bam.
You can find me on the internet at Cody Captures or codycorral.co.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we got,
so,
boys?
I have 4 titles for you to choose from. 3 of these are fake. Sure. One of them is real. Okay. I would like you to choose the one that is correct, please.
Okay.
Number 1, Father's Disapproval.
Oh, no.
Number 2, Gone Girl.
Oh, no.
Number 3, Christmas Visitor.
Uh-huh.
Number 4, All Too Well.
Okay, here's my logic, right? This is so tricky because we say Gone Girl all of the time, so that feels like a trick. It feels like a trick.
Yes. Elvis agrees.
The first one seems like, I feel like it wouldn't be out of character for you to find a Charlie-centric fanfiction.
Right.
So there's that.
Right.
The third one is Christmas, so like I guess, but I don't know why we would be doing a Christmas-themed one in March. But also, you're bad at timing for everything anyway, so who knows?
Some podcasts release their candle nights this week, so like...
Okay. And the last one actually seems like it could be a one too. I don't know. I hate this.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Gone Girl?
As correct or incorrect?
Why would I say as incorrect?
I don't know. I just need to ask.
As correct, I guess.
You got it right.
Yes.
You got it right. Yes.
That is what an awesome coincidence that the thing that we say for literally everything that happens in these novels is the title of a fanfiction.
I know. I lost it.
That's incredible.
It's truly amazing.
I want to thank everyone that helped us get here.
So
I want to thank the Academy.
This fanfiction, Gone Girl, was written by the fanfiction author Rosalie McHale.
So, like, definitely not.
And it was updated 1 hour ago.
I need to not be alive, you know? I just... I've done my time, you know? I saw all I need to see. I can just... I'm good.
Since I know that you needed to know this, it is filed under the tag angst. So...
No.
That's great. And it's a new moon-centric fanfiction. I can't read the summary because spoilers, so...
Great.
Instead, I will just let you know that that's where apparently this is based in. So, this is from chapter 1. Holy crow, I gasped. I wasn't sure what I expected. I knew the car I didn't want to see. It might destroy me completely if the Volvo was left behind. His Volvo. The car that saved me in the alley. The car we bared our souls in. Not now. I suppressed the deluge of memories. The car I stared at wasn't the Volvo. I knew the vampire family didn't see possessions like others did, and they did leave in a hurry, but I didn't expect them to leave behind an Aston Martin. I didn't know what model it was, but it was sleek and curvy and shiny, and holy cow. I walked in slowly. What are the chances that the keys would be... You've got to be kidding me. A pair of heavy, expensive keys hung off the wall. Holy crow, I whispered. I felt myself get excited. I was never a car person, especially fast cars, but this would make a much better vehicle to make a getaway in. Like in the movies. End scene.
Honestly incredible. But, like, every time you said Volvo... I just thought of Volvo. Like,
to be honest,
every single time. Like, it's so hard for my brain to disassociate those two words.
It was hard for me not to say Volvo, to be honest.
Listen.
So that's where I'm at.
Honestly, great.
And
I'm glad that Bella's heist mind hasn't gone away.
Right, yeah, she's still ocean eating it up.
Yeah, still, like, just focusing on that sweet getaway.
Right. Absolutely. And this fan fiction, even though it was updated an hour ago, was started 9 days ago. So
Right.
I think we've got a while for it to finish. So
Sure.
that's great.
Well, I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah. Good luck, Rosalie McHale. Can you imagine if that was their name?
It's not. It's absolutely not.
Okay, but you don't...
I do know. Don't play that game. But what if their name really was the name of this fictional character that is in the franchise that they are writing about? What if?
I mean,
what if their name was Edward Cullen? What if? You know? You don't know.
I mean, you don't.
I do.
Okay, alright, well.
What do you mean? Nobody's named that.
No, fuck you. I'm gonna search this right now.
No. I don't want to live in a world where there are human beings.
There's someone from Philly.
Bella Swan.
The fanfiction author is the fourth search, though, to be honest, so.
Stop.
There's a Rosalie A. McHale from Olympia, Washington, so fuck off. I'm just saying.
Listen, no, absolutely not.
I want to believe.
I just want to believe.
You want to leave, I want to believe. It's like
Oh
how
my
the
God.
fanfiction works and like how this podcast works.
As we say it, folks.
Get bit, y'all.